Trisha Paytas' podcast co-host is an enabler. Not that you need confirmation, since you can tell just by the fact that he's co-hosting a podcast with her. Still, we thought we'd dive in and provide you with another example of why this human being seems to be just as toxic as his co-host counterpart. Now, we already know why and how Trisha is toxic. There's various examples on this account alone, as well as on many other channels. Shout out to Gem Reloaded, who has some of the best videos full of insight into the Trisha madness. But what we didn't know until now is just how toxic Trisha's Just Trish co-host Oscar is. It came to light for us during the 29th episode of her podcast that was posted just a few days ago. In it, Trisha brings up Charli D'Amelio, who Trisha bullied when Charli was just 16 years old and when Trisha was of course a grown 30-something-year-old woman. Now, for a long time Trisha has denied the fact that she bullied Charli. But on her 29th podcast episode she admitted that she bullied a child and owed that child, Charli, an apology. She seemed to express regret in that moment for what she had done. She starts off by saying that people judged the D'Amelios too harshly. Which is ironic considering she was one of their biggest haters.
People really judge the D'Amelios like so harshly.
Of course, in true Trisha fashion, she tried to downplay how she treated Charli, a 16-year-old girl that she made cry, stating that she wasn't even that mean to her, which she was, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Like they're extra sensitive towards like a lot of like hate and controversy. So
yeah,
because Charli said she was on Jay Shetty's podcast a couple days ago. Yeah, and she said like when she hit 100 million followers, that was like the darkest days of her life or something.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, why? Did she explain?
She was just saying.
I saw the clip. I didn't see.
It's just like awkward laughing because I think she's kind of referencing you.
No.
Like subliminally, she just said like there's a lot of adults who were like really hard on me when I was 16, and now she said now they have kids, and I hope now that they see it. It was
so
a little pointed.
Specific. I feel like I wasn't too bad on Charli. I feel like I was more on Dixie with the snail.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I was too bad because I remember being like, well, Charli's a kid. I remember, this was so long ago, but I do remember specifically saying in a TikTok, like, Charli is like a child. Like, I don't really think bad about her, but maybe she was referencing with Dixie. I don't know. Because Dixie, I went back and forth for a minute with, which also was weird because she was also just like probably 18. Yeah.
And in true Trisha fashion, Trisha is lying about how she treated Charli. She claims she went easy on her, but let's take a trip down memory lane here and remind everyone how that bullying went down.
And like, the other thing is some people are just getting involved just to get involved. And like, I'm just gonna say it, Trisha Paytas, like this is not, sorry, just you have been completely rude to me multiple times, saying she doesn't have a personality, she can't dance, she's basic. Like, you have your own problems, please stop worrying about mine. And that's all I have to say on that. Quite honestly, I just, like, please stop talking about me. You're not a very nice person. Sorry. And I know that this is going to be a huge joke to whoever sees it, but just like, be nice. Like, don't tell people to kill themselves. I feel like it's not that hard, and you can say whatever. You can say I'm disrespectful. You can say I don't have basic human decency, but at the end of the day, I'm still a person, no matter how many followers I have. And like, think what you want. At the end of the day, I know I'm a good person, so I'm sorry. Stuff that people are saying, like people telling me to hang myself, people just like blatantly disrespecting the fact that I'm still a human being is not okay at all. And people making fun of the fact that it's just... I would totally understand if I like genuinely did something to purposely hurt other people or bring other people down, but I didn't do that. Nor would I ever try to do that. I know that I have a platform, and this was the one time where I wasn't like trying to put on this perfect image or picture that everyone's telling me that I have to be, and I was just trying to crack a joke and be sarcastic. And if that's not what you guys want, that's fine. And now I know that, and I won't do it again. But I think that this was all blown way out of proportion by a lot of people, and I mean, at the end of the day, I still know who I am, and I still have people that support me in my life, and I'm gonna go on, like, things are gonna be fine.
She specifically goes on to say, Trisha Paytas, you have your own problems. Stop worrying about mine. As if to say, I'm the crazy one on the internet. I'm the mess. Nobody likes me, blah, blah, blah. And that's totally fine. And I'm not worried about you. I'm commentating on poor behavior because that's the only way you're going to be able to grow and change. And it looks like you have remorse. It looks like you're upset and crying. And I am completely sorry if people are telling you to kill yourself. That's so wrong on so many levels. But you can't go James Charles and say, keep my name out of your mouth when your whole career and livelihood is based on social media, people talking about you and watching what you do. It's you call me out, but why don't we call out people that are actually being harmful and detrimental to your growth? James Charles, your parents. That's how you guys are making money. That's how you guys are millionaires at such a young age and owning houses, because it's the internet. And baby girl, in the same breath you asked me not to talk about you and I don't know you. You can't just say I'm not a nice person because, sweetheart, you don't know me. And once again, I have to remind you, this is the internet. This is social media. People are allowed to give opinions. And what I said wasn't even that bad. You have very entitled behavior, both you and your sister, and it's unbecoming. And just like other people in your life, I've seen you guys come and go. The sense of entitlement is not cute. It's unbecoming.
You're just being so hater, but it was just so funny because I was just like, that's not writing a book. But you know, if she's 16, whatever, I'm not gonna try like, you know, people are like, but also you're like in the spotlight, and also it's her parents' fault. I think her parents need to take off the internet. I think they're all like a little sensitive. I think this has hyped me up too much. Maybe that's why they gave this the Charlie drink. Overhyped.
Yeah, something like that.
It's not okay at all. I don't see any tears. I don't feel sorry.
I mean, it was definitely fake crying.
As you can see and hear in the first clip, Charlie addresses statements that Trisha made about her, saying that Trisha said she had no personality, couldn't dance and was basic. Imagine a 30-year-old woman telling a 16-year-old girl that she has no personality and is basic. Imagine a 30-year-old woman continuing to talk about a 16-year-old girl after a 16-year-old girl begs her crying to stop. And imagine that 30-year-old woman continuing to talk about her and justify talking about her even after she's asked to leave her alone. And imagine that 30-year-old woman making fun of that 16-year-old girl for crying and stating that it's fake crying. Well, you don't have to imagine it, because you just saw all of it happen. A 30-year-old woman was bullying a 16-year-old child. During one of her come to Jesus moments, Trisha actually acknowledged what she had done and had shown remorse, as you can see here.
Did you bully Charlie and Dixie? Oh my God. I mean, I look back at that person and I'm sad. I'm so sad. And it's awful. It's so awful. And given the chance, I would apologize and apologize again in person to them. But I said it online. I said it again. Like, yeah, I was just bitter. I'm telling you, it's bitter jealousy and hurtfulness. People, including myself, just bitter at these young girls achieving success and fame and keeping their wholesomeness, right? Sometimes I know the bitterness I held in for younger girls.
In that clip, you can see that Trisha admitted to bullying Charlie and explains why she did it, stating that she was bitter and miserable and evil because she was unhappy and jealous. So if Trisha is truly sorry, then why is she now taking back this former apology where she acknowledged how mean she was to her just to now say she wasn't all that mean and didn't do that much to her? She made a 16-year-old girl cry. You're either sorry or you're not. If you're sorry, then why are you downplaying what you did as if it wasn't that bad? If it wasn't that bad, then you don't need to apologize, right? She can never stick to a stance. In this case, she doesn't want to stick to it because she doesn't want to admit that she was wrong even though she already has before. Her pride won't let her. And more importantly, her victim mentality won't let her. Because if she admits that Charlie was the victim, then that means that Trisha wasn't. And you know how much Trisha loves playing the victim. That's a role she just can't give up. Now here's where Oscar, her equally toxic co-host, comes in. Because as Trisha finally relents and tries to apologize and own up to what she did without excuses, here's Oscar coming in to tell her that she did nothing wrong and shouldn't feel bad, because he says a lot of people were coming at Charlie at the time. As if that makes it okay for Trisha adding to that dog pile as a 30-year-old woman coming at a child.
And I'm so sorry to Charlie. Oh my God, could you, like, I think about that. Like, could you imagine if you actually, like, ruined her life or something? Like, she was so depressed. What if she's, like, depressed from that? She has, like, PTSD, and I did that to her.
Also, it wasn't just, like, there was a lot of people saying the same thing.
But do they all have kids now?
I'm sure most of them do.
That's so specific.
You're not the only adult that has said something about her who has a kid.
I apologize to Charlie D'Amelio. I'm so sorry. I'm still thinking about that. I'm so upset about it. I know. I feel so bad. I want to personally apologize.
Why is this grown man telling this grown woman that she shouldn't feel bad for bullying a 16-year-old child and shouldn't apologize? This enabling idiot even goes as far as to say that it only would have been problematic if Trisha knew that she hurt Charlie and continued to keep hurting her. Apparently not realizing that that is exactly what Trisha did.
The way I see it is like, if you were still, anyone who's still doing that now, like when you hear someone say like, oh, this hurt me, and then you still do it, then I think that's like super problematic.
As you saw earlier, even after Charlie cried and asked Trisha to leave her alone, Trisha went on to make fun of her crying and continued to talk about her and justified it by saying she was allowed to because Charlie was on the internet. So if that's what constitutes as problematic to this enabler Oscar, then why is he not acknowledging that Trisha was problematic and does owe Charlie an apology? It's because he's an enabler. He's leeching off of Trisha's clout by being co-host of the podcast. And as co-host of the podcast, he's not going to willingly admit that the main host has done anything wrong because then he'd look like the enabler that he is. And this is the exact reason why Trisha will never truly change or grow, because she surrounds herself with people like this who reassure her that she's done nothing wrong. She will continue to get away with this kind of behavior because her fans, like Oscar, who is very much a fan of hers, will continue to justify her actions and support her toxicity.